I would reflect on my last very terrible day and ask myself if I wanted to sit in that type of day consistently for another year or another 6 months or another week, because the answer is almost invariably no. Hi friends, welcome back to my 30-day series on how to become a food content creator in 2025. Today we're talking about how to keep going when you lose your motivation. This is going to be a short one because I think for things where you're trying to change your mindset, it needs to be very small and digestible. I'm going to give you 2 things to do when you lose motivation, and this is going to kind of help you navigate the content creation journey or just any journey that you're on where you're trying to stay consistent but you continue to kind of fall short of your expectations. You're going to see a lot of people tell you you need to plan and you need to stick to your schedule and you need to map out a quarterly goal list and yada yada yada. That is all great advice and you should absolutely do that. If you are to the point where you feel like you could set quarterly goals and then follow up on them weekly and daily, I'm gonna link a video in the bottom from another creator that I watched that was really helpful for me. But if you're just getting started and the idea of this entire food content creation journey just feels very overwhelming for you, we're gonna start you very small. And so what do you do when you don't have the motivation? So first, motivation is like building a muscle. Keep adding plates to the bar until you have maxed out your load and you are performing at your personal best. That is what you're gonna do. You start out very small. People don't start out squat pressing 400 pounds. You don't start out being a content creator who is putting in 150, 200% effort every day and it's all fantastic, amazing content. You start out with 10 pounds on the bar. You start out with posting small videos with text over it. You start out with posting pictures of your food. You start out with food compilations. You start out with, maybe I share this little outing that I had with my girlfriends, but you start out and you just do it every day. And slowly but surely you will build up to the type of creator that you want to become. To keep your motivation in check and to kind of build your motivation muscle, just start with posting every single day. Something I saw recently is that people think consistency is that you have to show up every single day at 100%. No. You literally just have to show up every day. So for me, consistency looked like, yes, I'm posting on social media every day, but every day is not a recipe. Some days I'm just talking to the camera. Some days I'm just posting a video that I shot 2 weeks ago and throwing some text over it. Some days I'm doing a carousel, just posting pictures. Some days I am engaging in some kind of a trend that's happening on one of the social media apps. But it's not gonna be you showing up the exact same every single day, because that's how you get burned out. That's how you quickly lose motivation. So I would say how to keep going when you lose your motivation is to just build the muscle of showing up every day. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when you inevitably get to that day, I think something that we really have to do is start examining where we want to be consistently. Over this last 2 years, I quit my job. I decided I wanted to do content creation full time. And I had a lot of hiccups. Going from a full-time employee to an entrepreneur is a very big adjustment. And there were a lot of breakdowns along the way. And I did lift, and it's a mentally and physically draining experience entirely. And so I had to do a lot of soul searching every time I would be ready to stop posting. I would get home after driving for 12 hours and think, I don't feel like posting. And then I would have to ask myself, do I want to keep living this life? So do I consistently want to be in a place where I have to drive 12 hours a day? Or do I want to post this video and flip this scenario around where I eventually just have to post videos and I don't have to drive at all? Because if I consistently post my videos, at some point that will be my main source of income. If I'm constantly learning and growing from my experience as a content creator and pushing myself into new and uncomfortable arenas so that I can expand and grow in my field, right? I would reflect on my last very terrible day and ask myself if I wanted to sit in that type of day consistently for another year or another 6 months or another week, because the answer is almost invariably no. And so on the days when you don't feel motivated and you feel tired and you're exhausted and you just want to go to sleep, you have to ask yourself, do I want to keep doing this thing that's draining my energy? Do I want to keep showing up to a life that I do not love? If the answer is no, post your content. And you also need to find people who are kind of on a similar journey to you. This is where TikTok is a great resource, because you're going to see a lot of people being open about how exhausted they are, but they post in their content because they want to change their lives. And so when you see the people that you follow are doing the things that you want to be doing, and they're vocal about the fact that they're pushing through the discomfort and they're pushing through the desire to just go to sleep and forget about their goals, that's going to inspire you to keep going too. It's great to follow people who are doing what you want to be doing. Yeah, that's motivating, but it's also intimidating because you don't feel like you're there yet, and you're not, and that's okay. They built up to that. They used to be where you are though. It's better to follow people who are doing what you're doing, who are struggling to be consistent, who are talking to you about how their process looks, who are being vulnerable and open about how frustrated they are and tired, because it's validating to your own experience. So yes, follow the people that you aspire to be, but follow the people who are also doing what you're doing so y'all can motivate each other. I would say it's a two-part thing. Understand that you don't have to go balls to the wall when you first start out. Your goal right now is just to post every single day. Like I said, mine was not 100% every single day. I was just feeling I got my one post up quota for the day. It wasn't always the most engaging, amazing, fantastic content. But flexing that muscle, continuing to work that muscle over time helped me get to a place where I could produce better content. It helped me get more comfortable in front of the camera. It helped me get over feeling cringy or feeling embarrassed when I would post something and it maybe wouldn't get the reaction that I wanted, or it wouldn't get a reaction at all, which we're going to talk about that tomorrow, because that's also something that is just kind of a core experience of being a new content creator or content creator in general. You're going to spend like an hour or 2 hours editing something and post it up on the internet and no one's going to like it. And you're going to feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? But there is a way to handle that, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I hope this was helpful. If you haven't watched all the other videos in the series, please go back and watch those. I think we're on this is day 10. I love this for us. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know if there are things that you want me to cover, and come back tomorrow because we're going to have the conversation about what happens when you post something and it gets 0 engagement. It might not get 0 engagement. It might get 3 likes and no comments. We're going to talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow.